Our next guest wrote an op-ed in the Financial Times this week, and it was titled, "Companies that tap U.S. relief packages must be more transparent. The public deserves to know how they will protect the well-being of their employees, customers, and the planet." Joining us right now is Lynn Forrester de Rothschild, founder of the Coalition for Inclusive Capitalism. She's also the CEO of the investment office, E.L. Rothschild. And Lady Lynn, it's great to have you on the program this morning. You wrote a fascinating piece. The question I'd ask you is, who should be responsible for all of this? Is it the government that should be required to force companies to make these disclosures? Should it be the companies themselves? Should it be some private-public partnership? How's it supposed to work?
Well, first of all, we saw last year when Corona referred to a beer, not to a crisis, that the Business Roundtable CEOs stepped up and they said that they are going to dedicate themselves to all their stakeholders, to their customers, to their employees, to their community, and to the planet. Davos was all about stakeholder capitalism.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session today on stakeholder capitalism, building the future. We have a fantastic panel with us. We're going to start this session with the expert on stakeholder capitalism, the WEF chairman and founder, Klaus Schwab. Klaus has a new book out today on this subject that will launch our panel, and then we'll join in a broader discussion. Klaus, welcome.
Thank you very much, Edward. It's really a very important moment, not just because I'm publishing a book, but we are witnessing a mindset change. I think we are moving from the priority of short-term shareholder profit maximization to a world which is characterized much more by stakeholder responsibility. The COVID crisis has shown us that companies which were committed to the stakeholder concept have performed much better because they have invested into the long-term vitality of the company. So what we have to do now, and what is very important, is to walk the talk. And walking the talk means not just to talk about stakeholder capitalism, but also to establish a framework of metrics which allow everybody to see that a company is performing according to the ESG criteria.
And so we have a movement among corporates that this is important. However, from an investor's point of view, unless the metrics about how a company is taking care of its people and planet are standardized and assurable, you really can't invest properly. You can't really be an employee who understands the difference between employee treatment at the different companies in the same industry. And as a consumer, you don't really know. So what I'm arguing for is let's get standardized metrics that are material and are not overly costly to companies, because right now trying to do this on a voluntary basis, and we have great companies in this country who truly are taking care of their people and their planet, but they put out glossy reports and there's happy talk. It's very difficult to sort out the best and create a real race to the top, not only on financial measures, which are, of course, important, but also on these non-financial measures.
You talked about what may happen on the other side of this pandemic, and I'm very curious how you think this is going to change business, dare I say the word, capitalism, taxes, all of it, in an environment right now where clearly there are at least questions about whether there is a free market, given the government has come to the rescue, not just here in the United States, but around the world. You could argue this is corporate welfare at the moment. The question is, how you think that changes the conversation after.
I think it changes capitalism forever, just like Leon Cooperman said on your show last week. He said, when government is called upon to protect on the downside, it has a right to regulate on the upside. And I don't think it's a winning argument to use, neoliberal arguments against regulation when we are putting trillions and trillions of public money into the private markets. So I think we have to reform capitalism, and it's the same thing that happened after the Depression. Capitalism changed, and it therefore saved capitalism. But when we have the private sector getting trillions of dollars, it can expect government to regulate for those 290 million people.
Lynn Forrester to Rothschild. It's a great op-ed. Go out and read it. Thank you for joining us this week.
What does it mean, globalization 4.0? Definitively, it has to be more sustainable. We cannot continue to destroy our environment. It has to be more inclusive. Those people who have lost the hope for a better future, they have to be given a new vision. They don't want to wake up with nightmares. They want to wake up with dreams. We need a more multi-stakeholder.
Davos was all about stakeholder capitalism.
Globalization, which means a globalization not led just by governments, but where solutions are elaborated jointly by all stakeholders of society.